Hey there, Hoop fans! Ever stumble upon a team so legendary that they redefine the game of basketball? You know, the type of dream squad that turns every matchup into a masterclass of hoops? Well, buckle up because we're going to dive deep into the storied chapters of the NBA to spotlight the top 5 greatest NBA teams of all time. These aren't just teams, they're hoops royalty. Now, basketball isn't just about stacking points and flashy dunks. It's a symphony of teamwork, strategy, and talent. And over the decades, we've seen squads that have rocked the hardwood, changing the NBA narrative forever. In this video, we dive into the rich history of the NBA to uncover the top 5 greatest teams of all time. From dominant dynasties to unforgettable superstars, this video showcases the unparalleled achievements and game-changing strategies that have shaped the league. Join us as we analyze the pivotal moments, incredible teamwork, and iconic players that propelled these teams to greatness. Whether you're a die-hard NBA fan or simply curious about the sport's legacy, this video is a must-watch. So get ready to relive some of the greatest moments in sports history. Without further ado, let's look at the 5 greatest NBA teams of all time. Coming in at number 5, we have the 1985-86 Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics. Not only did they dominate in 1985, but set records. The Boston Celtics set an NBA record on April 13, 1986. The Celtics stomped the New Jersey Nets 135-107 to wrap up the best home season in NBA history, going 40-1. Boston's starting front line of Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, and Robert Parrish teamed with Bill Walton and Scott Wedman to form a formidable 5-man front court rotation that nobody in the NBA could match. The Celtics finished with a 67-15 overall record, and that would be the best record in the NBA. Not only did they have a historic season, Larry Bird won his 3rd consecutive MVP award, averaging 25 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists. Not only was Larry Bird dominating, Bill Walton also won his 6th Man of the Year award. The team was anchored by the Big Three, front court of Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, and Robert Parrish, which is frequently ranked among the best front courts in NBA history. They would have 5 players scoring in double digits, and in the playoffs, the Celtics would go on to sweep the Chicago Bulls in the first round, then defeated the Atlanta Hawks in 5 games in the semifinals before sweeping the Milwaukee Bucks in 4 games in the conference finals, to reach the NBA Finals for a 3rd consecutive season. In the NBA Finals, the Celtics faced off against the Houston Rockets in a rematch of the 1981 NBA Finals, which the Celtics won in 6 games. The Celtics had won 82 combined regular season and playoff games. That was an NBA record at the time, and the Celtics would go on to win their 16th championship in the last 22 years. Our 4th team on the list is the 2000-2001 Los Angeles Lakers. The 2000-2001 Los Angeles Lakers were one of the best teams in NBA history, not just from a talent standpoint, but just sheer dominance. The Lakers were led by Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal, the league's best guard-center combination. Coming into the regular season, the Lakers wanted to surround their 2 superstars with a veteran cast whose championship medal had already been tested: Rick Fox, Horace Grant, Ron Harper, and Robert Horry. During the regular season, Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant were simply dominant. Shaq averaged 28 points, 12 rebounds, and 2 blocks per game and was named to the All-NBA First Team, while Bryant averaged 28 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists per game and was named to the All-NBA Second Team. The Lakers held a 31-16 record at the All-Star break and won their final 8 games, finishing the regular season with a 56-26 record. And I know what you guys are thinking. How is a 56-26 team one of the top 5 greatest teams of all time? Well, I'm about to tell you. During the regular season, Shaq and Kobe would miss 22 combined games, and one of the Lakers' key contributors, Derek Fisher, only played just 20 games due to a stress fracture in his right foot, which forced him to miss the first 62 games of the regular season. The Lakers' Ron Harper would also miss 35 games with a knee injury. The Western Conference had established itself as the superior side of the NBA, and the Lakers still trailed the San Antonio Spurs with a 24-year-old Tim Duncan by 2 games. The Lakers had to run a playoff gauntlet that started with a 50-win team in the first round. The Lakers responded by wreaking havoc in the playoffs. They went a stunning 11-0 through the Western Conference bracket, and the Lakers started off the playoffs by sweeping the Portland Trailblazers in the first round 3-0. And at that time, the series were best of 5 in 2001. The Lakers went on to sweep the third-seeded Kings in 4 straight games in the Western Conference Semi, and this would lead to the highly anticipated Western Conference matchup with the top-seeded San Antonio Spurs. The Lakers weren't messing around. The Lakers played bully ball all series versus the Spurs, and in 4 straight games, the Lakers dominated them. The Lakers went on to sweep the Spurs and won by an average of 22 points per game. The Lakers would host the Philadelphia 76ers and NBA MVP Allen Iverson. The Lakers would lose to the 76ers in the first game in overtime, 107-101, but that would be it. The Lakers would win the next 4 games and win their 13th NBA championship. The Lakers posted the highest net rating in the playoffs than any team in NBA history. It was the second of the Lakers' three-peat championships. They were the last team to three-peat. The Lakers would finish with then the best postseason record in NBA history, posting a 15-1 record, suffering their only loss in a Game 1. Shaq would win Finals MVP, and the Lakers became the second team in NBA history to beat 4 consecutive 50-win teams in the postseason. The Lakers weren't the best start-to-finish team, but they were at their best when it mattered the most, and nobody could have beaten this team. They were too good from top to bottom, and coached by the greatest coach of all time in Phil Jackson. Chick Hearn, a member of the Basketball Hall of Fame and the Lakers play-by-play broadcaster since 1961, said this about the Lakers.
There's no team in Laker history ever played at a higher level of perfection than this team is doing.
Of all time. At number 3 on the list is the 1971-72 Los Angeles Lakers. Los Angeles Lakers won their first NBA title since moving to Los Angeles in the 1971 season. The Lakers had an historic season after going 69-13 during the regular season, and a record that stood for 24 years. During the regular season, one of the Lakers' top players, Elgin Baylor, had suffered an injury, and a few weeks later he would announce his retirement. After his retirement, the Los Angeles Lakers wouldn't lose for the next 2 months. They would also go on a record 33-game winning streak, and that would also be an American professional sports record. Wilt Chamberlain averaged a career-low 14 points, but it may have been his finest season. He led the NBA in rebounding with 19 per game. He was a defensive stalwart and played outstanding team basketball. Jerry West led the league by dishing out 9 assists per game, and he and Goodrich each averaged better than 25 points. The Los Angeles Lakers led the NBA in points, rebounds, and assists, all during the regular season, and during the playoffs, it would be no different. The Lakers breezed right through the playoffs, sweeping the Chicago Bulls in the conference semifinals, ousting the Bucks in 6 games in the conference finals, and then zipping by the Knicks in the finals, 4-1. After years of frustration, the Lakers had finally earned an NBA championship, the team's first in Los Angeles and the first for the franchise since 1954. Chamberlain was named Most Valuable Player in the finals. The Lakers went on to win 81 regular season and playoff games overall, a record that would stand alone for 14 years. The Lakers had 2 players in the top 3 in the MVP voting, which included Jerry West, who averaged 25 points a game, and Wilt Chamberlain. The Lakers also led the NBA with 6 players scoring averages all in the double digits, and went 12-3 in the playoffs, and Bill Sharman was named NBA Coach of the Year. Coming in at number 2 on the list is the 1995-96 Chicago Bulls. Coming into the 1995-96 season, the Chicago Bulls were very upset on how the previous season ended. They got Michael Jordan back after his 18-month retirement, but got him back late in the season and ended up losing to the Magic in the playoffs. Coming into the 1995 season, the Chicago Bulls acquired controversial all-star forward and rebound specialist Dennis Rodman from the San Antonio Spurs, and signed free agents Randy Brown and James Edward. Not only would this help boost the aging Chicago Bulls, but this would be a match made in heaven. The 1995 Chicago Bulls were on a mission. During the regular season, the Bulls won 18 games in a row in one stretch of the 1995 season, and on February 2nd, their record stood at 41-3. The Bulls finished 39-2 at the United Center and 33-8 on the road. Their 33 road victories is the most ever, and the Bulls became the first team in NBA history to win 70 games with an 86-80 victory at Milwaukee. Their 72-10 record during the 1995-96 regular season was the best in NBA history and stood for over 2 decades. It also stands as one of the greatest team accomplishments in all of sports. The Bulls eclipsed the mark set by the 1971-72 Los Angeles Lakers, who went 69-13. The Chicago Bulls weren't going to be denied. Not only did the Bulls have the best offensive rating in the NBA, but had the best team defensive rating in the NBA also, which means they were locked in and focused. During the playoffs, the Bulls would sweep the Miami Heat in the first round, and then beat the New York Knicks 4-1 in the semifinals, and go on to defeat the Orlando Magic 4-0 to get to their finals matchup with the Seattle Supersonic that they would go on to beat in 6 games. Michael Jordan would go on to win the 1996 NBA MVP, All-Star MVP, and Finals MVP, all in the same season. Dennis Rodman would also capture his 5th consecutive rebounding title, averaging 14 rebounds a game. Scottie Pippen would also be named a starter to the 1996 NBA All-Star Game, and Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen were selected to the 1995-96 All-NBA First Team. Their teammate Tony Kukoc was named 6th Man of the Year, while Phil Jackson was awarded the Coach of the Year. This is truly one of the greatest teams in NBA history. And our number 1 team is the 2016-2017 Golden State Warriors. The 2016-17 Golden State Warriors are no surprise as the number 1 team in NBA history. The Golden State Warriors set an NBA record the year before with a 73-9 record. Golden State broke over 25 NBA records and more than 10 franchise records in the 2015-16 season, including most wins ever recorded in a season, the most regular season and postseason combined with 88 wins. However, they were defeated in the NBA Finals by the Cleveland Cavaliers in 7 games after blowing a 3-1 lead. So you can see just how good this team was, even after losing in the finals. Coming off a devastating finals loss, the Golden State Warriors added Kevin Durant in free agency. This move would be a huge shock to the sports world and having athletes and sports fans all around the world very upset. To put in perspective how good the Warriors are, they have 2 of the greatest shooters of all time in Klay Thompson, who scored 37 points in 1 quarter of an NBA game and scored 60 points in 29 minutes. They have Stephen Curry, who is a 2-time MVP and unanimous MVP, which had never happened in the history of the NBA. And Kevin Durant, who was an MVP, had 4 scoring titles and 2 All-Star MVPs and one of the greatest players of all time in his prime. And Draymond Green, who was an All-Star and a Defensive Player of the Year. So this team was absolutely loaded, and the 2016-17 Golden State Warriors were an overwhelming favorite to win the NBA title. Coming into the season, the Warriors had all eyes on them. Some people hoping they fail, others waiting to see what this new loaded team would look like, and see how they would fit together. And let me tell you, they didn't disappoint. After going 67-15 in the regular season, Kevin Durant, Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green were all named to the All-Star game. The first time Golden State have had 4 All-Stars, and just the 8th time in NBA history a single team has had 4 players in the game. The Warriors were the only team with multiple players named to the All-NBA team and going 36-5 at home and 31-10 on the road, and finished the season with a 115.6 offensive rating, making it one of the best in NBA history. It was very obvious this team was on a mission. The Warriors set an NBA record, winning its first 15 playoff games and setting the best postseason record in NBA history after defeating the Cleveland Cavaliers 4-1. Kevin Durant would go on to win Finals MVP. The 2016-17 Golden State Warriors team will go down as one of the best teams in NBA history. Not just from the records they broke, but how they played the game of basketball. It was simply unmatched and just too much talent and shooting on the court. Thanks for watching today's video. Please like and subscribe.